The Philadelphia Eagles are about to embark on a journey not many Eagles fans or media outlets realistically saw coming. The Philadelphia Eagles are a playoff team, and depending on how the next week goes, we might even be a sixth seed. I know it's crazy. I know some of us thought it would happen, some of us didn't. Some of us thought this was the goal. Some of us thought this would just be extra, extra frosting on the cake, if you will, right? But we are here. We've gotten over the rough start from Nick Sirianni. We're starting to kind of come to terms with who Jonathan Gannon is. But there's one more person that we have not yet really talked about. And that person is Howie Roseman. So today I want to talk about, is Howie Roseman off the hot seat? Let's get into it. What's going on, you guys? It's your boy Joe Castro, aka Philly Fresco, and it is Philly the podcast, man. So, like I said, today I want to talk a little bit about Howie Roseman, the things that he's been able to do this year and the past couple years that have accrued into what this year has become. This year was supposed to be a rebuild, a transitional year, and look at us. We're about to be in the playoffs. So before I get into that, be sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe, join the family. We are so close to 3K. But let's get right into it, man. So Howie Roseman prior to this season, I mean, look, I had Fire Howie gear. I think that the Howie Roseman situation went deeper than just decisions he was making. You know, we were getting stories about him being disrespectful to Lane Johnson, being disrespectful to different players, different people not really getting along with him. Obviously, Orlando Scandrick calling him a snake on First Take. There's so many different things that have happened when it comes to Howie Roseman. When the whole Wentz situation went down, a lot of people were pointing fingers at Howie Roseman as kind of the main factor and the main reason why it was kind of an unmendable fence, right? So you look at all this stuff and you start saying to yourself, like, this guy should just not be around football operations. And I feel like the question is, right, is Howie off the hot seat? And my friend Nick said it probably the best. I don't think he ever really was, right? If you look at it from Jeffrey Lurie's, perspective, I don't think he ever really had a doubt of it bringing Howie back. I think that going through this season, all their decisions were made based off of next year's draft. All their decisions were made based on trying to get as many assets to try and rebuild come next year. So I don't think from a Jeffrey Lurie standpoint that there was ever really a chance that Howie Roseman was not going to get that extension. I mean, there still is. There still is, right? He hasn't gotten his extension, so you never know. You really never know. The NFL is a crazy place. He might go ahead and not, re-sign him. He might just have done all this for absolutely no reason. But I don't see it happening. But from a fan's perspective, I do believe that the Eagles fans need to start maybe, it's tough for me to say because I want to say we need to fall back on Howie because this has been a very good year. And if he can do some things in this offseason, we might be right back to the promised land within a year or two. Realistically, we can be right back at that NFC Championship game if we handle these next coming off seasons correctly, if we're able to fill the holes that we have. And if we look at that, it's hard to really be upset with the decisions he's making. Some of these drafts have not been that terrible. I mean, we have picked some bad players, don't get me wrong, but they haven't been overall terrible. So even looking at this most recent draft, I mean, Milton Williams is really starting to get into his own. Taron Jackson, unfortunately, got hurt the other game, but he was starting to get into his own. We're starting to see, progression from some of the guys last year that we were a little bit nervous about, mainly a Davion Taylor. We're starting to see what he can become. And, we look at this team and we look at this coaching staff, and I know that Jeffrey Lurie had a bigger hand in it than Howie Roseman did, but the communication, the teamwork, it seems like Howie Roseman isn't as involved. I don't think that if Howie and Lurie were as involved as they were previous years, we'd be running it this much. Again, I could be totally wrong. It just feels like a totally different front office right now. It feels like they're a little bit more hands-off. They're giving this coaching staff and giving this team the space and the leeway that they need in order to do what they have to do. And I think that they're seeing the fruits of that, of that mentality, right? You're seeing the fruits of that labor. You're seeing these guys go out there and playing their type of game. This offensive line is just absolutely dominating right now, and that's with injuries. There's so many question marks, and honestly, I would say, and if you asked me last year, I would have probably just said just fire the guy. But right now, I'm realistically just saying, can we just have him handle football stuff or money stuff? Can we just have him handle the money stuff? I don't think that he's been terrible when it comes to contracts. I know a lot of people get upset about kicking the can down the road, but realistically, I think that's more of that was more of a factor from the whole COVID situation. The salary cap went down damn near $30 million. Did he predict wrong? Yes. I know that Howie Roseman probably thought the salary cap was going to continually steadily rise. I'm sure a lot of different GMs thought that. COVID wasn't something that he could really predict. Nobody could, right? So I can't get too upset about him about kicking the can down the road at this point. Now you kind of have to. You're kind of stuck in that position until the money situation clears up. But, there's been decisions made, even if we go back to the offseason, looking at the Carson Wentz situation, the fact that we gave up on that, the fact that we said, okay, this isn't going to work, let's move on, and didn't try and hold on, didn't try and scrape and claw and hold them against his will. Like we did the right thing in that situation. I really do feel like it. We obviously have 3 first-round picks this year because of that. Not that this first-round pick is going to be that great. It's going to probably be like low 20s, but we have 3 first-round picks. So you look at all this, then you look at the Eric Wilson signing. We thought that would be good. It didn't work out. They gave up on it. They gave these young guys play. Like, it's just so many things that we did not see the past couple years. We're seeing the young guys getting PT. We're seeing competition. We're seeing accountability. We're seeing a lot of things that we have not seen over these past couple years. And I think it's a big credit to Jeffrey Lurie and to Howie Roseman stepping back and understanding their role. Now, like I said, I'm not in the office or in the building. I'm not, hanging out with Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman. I obviously don't know what's going on with their day-to-day, but it feels different. And as an Eagles fan, you let me know if I'm bugging out for saying that. I really do feel like this just is different. It's just different. Even with Doug Peterson, I feel like when Doug Peterson was the head coach, they still had their mindset. They still had what they wanted to see, and they kind of force-fed Doug Peterson exactly what they wanted, and he just kind of went along with it until he didn't want to go along with it, and then we saw the blow-up. With Nick Sirianni, I feel like Nick Sirianni came in here and said, this is what I want to do. This is what I'm going to do. I'll try it your way. If it doesn't work, we're going to go my way, and it seems to have been working, right? We even look at Jonathan Taylor, in the first year that he was playing with Nick Sirianni. Jonathan Taylor didn't really get it going until the tail end of the season. So maybe this is just Nick Sirianni's MO. He tries to get his quarterback going early. If that doesn't work, he just relies on the run game. So I'm cool with it. Look, Howie Roseman, is he off the hot seat? For fans, probably for a little while, right? As far as fans go, probably just for a little while. We'll see what happens until another thing that we get upset about happens, until another, wide receiver is taken behind whoever we take and ends up being a great player or linebacker or you name it. I'm sure there's going to be another reason why we get upset with him. But right now, I think we have to be proud and happy about what this organization has done as a whole, and that includes Howie Roseman. So as a fan, I'm saying for now, he's off the hot seat. As far as Jeffrey Lurie and this organization goes, I don't think he ever actually was on the hot seat. I think it was just a fairy tale that a lot of us Eagles fans like to tell ourselves to make us, feel a little bit better throughout the day. But Howie is not going anywhere. I've said it before, and I still hold true to that, especially after a year like this. I think it's going to be very hard to really sell yourself on getting rid of Howie Roseman after he was able to, help put together a pretty good team, and that's really what it comes down to. That's his job. His job is to put together the right team, and our coach's job is to coach the team. So that's my answer. That's my opinion. You guys let me know what you're thinking. Do you think that Howie Roseman is off the hot seat? If you don't, who would you want as a GM? I know a lot of people say Louis Riddick. I don't think Louis Riddick ever would want to come here. But that would be a beautiful, beautiful thing. Especially, look, if we are in the market for a GM, This is a very sexy spot, in my opinion. This is a very, very attractive location, in my opinion. You have a very young quarterback. You have a bevy of draft picks. You have a very young team where it counts, a very good young offensive line, a defensive line that is getting there, a linebacking crew that you have. There's so much. This is a empty canvas, a beautiful canvas, but an empty canvas. You can do so much to this if you're a new GM coming in and you already have talent on the team. So it will be very interesting to me. I'm very excited for this playoff run, so I'm not thinking too far into the offseason, but let's get it, man. Let's get it. Y'all let me know what y'all thinking. Other than that, y'all know what it is. It is Fly Eagles Fly, and we are out here. Peace!
Everywhere, this is for
Yeah.
you.
Fly Eagles Fly, on the team. Touchdown. Time to get Jalen this ring. You don't really want to start a thing. This a Bird Gang Nation, baby. It's a Philly thing. Hater, and you looking like you type trash. I'm just here calling on Philly the podcast. And we can call a man dog or watch Miles score off the handoff. Rest of the division, your man soft. Jackson like Sean, hunting like Randolph. Season here, early time to do 'em in. Your boy Philly Fresco. Thanks for tuning in.